We've heard details from Premier Daniel Andrews, the Victorian Premier, detailing what stage 4 lockdown will look like in Melbourne, what businesses will be able to trade and which businesses will have to shut. We've also heard from the Prime Minister the main announcement in that press conference, a new pandemic leave disaster payment. People in Victoria who have to take leave because of the pandemic but don't have sick leave can get access to a $1,500 payment. So they're the big news developments today. We'll cross to Melbourne in a moment, as I just said, but let's bring in now Sky News Political Editor Andrew Clennell. Andrew, firstly on the payment from the Commonwealth, there was a lot of focus on this. Casual employees who couldn't get leave, they were turning up to work when they're sick. So this payment is deliberately designed to prevent them having to do that.
Yeah, and some heat from the opposition and the unions on this one. So he's kind of allayed that and saying, if you've been told to isolate at home, if you've had a test and been told to isolate, if you have any symptoms, you can ring this number on Wednesday. That the phone call might be jammed, that phone line on Wednesday, for this $1,500 payment for a fortnight and apply. So that gets rid of that problem. That gets rid of the political argument too, that because they're not providing the pandemic paid leave, there are people turning up to work sick and spreading the virus. But it won't do anything for the 250,000 people who are just about to be out of a job. Now, the Prime Minister says JobKeeper and extended job seeker lasts till the end of September. There's no doubt the indications I have that criteria, that new criteria, JobKeeper 2.0, that they just announced, will change, will be more generous. Just 13 days after they announced it, simply to deal with the Victorian situation. And you know what? They put a $130 billion tab bill on the thing at the start, ended up at 86, might end up 130, who knows, by the end of this thing. Yeah,
you'll have a situation quite likely where the JobKeeper arrangements for Victoria are different to the rest of the country. The rest of the country opening up more, but Victoria, as you say, I mean, at least 6 weeks now going into this lockdown. When you see the detail of what is being shut, of course, there's the curfew, which I can't get my head around, a city of 5 million people in a peacetime curfew. But go through the industries that will be allowed to trade and where industries are just going to be shut down.
Well, there's a set list which is easy to get your head around. After that, it's a bit harder, Chris. So you've got supermarkets, grocery stores, bottle shops, petrol stations, banks, news agencies, post offices and frontline responses, he calls it. After that, a bit more confusing. You can have coal mines but not mineral exploration. Book publishing has to shut. Professional services, architectural services have to shut. Rental lease kind of companies, estate agents have to shut unless you can work from home. They're just trying to stop hundreds of thousands of people from travelling around Melbourne and getting anyone who is not, quote, non-essential, people who work in, say, energy, the media, all those industries I just named, to shut their doors. And even if you have all the JobKeeper support there, tested on a 30% decline in turnover, tens of thousands of people are going to lose their jobs and they're not coming back. And Daniel Andrews himself said it will take years to get over this. So it's quite shocking news. We saw for days that it was coming. Scott Morrison supporting Daniel Andrews in the endeavour because he doesn't want the virus in other parts of Australia. He thinks if they can get on top of the Victorian thing, they can save the rest of Australia. But the long-term effects on the economy, as Daniel Andrews said, will last for years.